Check, check, 1, 2, radio check. Still. On the bottom through the corner, lane up through the trial zone. Not sure why we did that. I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody get to the bottom. Maybe we should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit. Out of the gas, slow down. He's coming up right in front of me.
Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs are looking way. It's Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland and Garland leading the way. Show these drivers how to get it done.
Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand, chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening from the beautiful Martinsville Speedway as the Outcast 165 here this evening is about to get underway. Each and every one of these drivers hoping to try and race their way up and into victory lane for what should be another amazing night of racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. As these drivers have completed their qualifying session, they are all ready to rock and roll now for our A-Main feature event as we have 165 laps on the line here this evening for these drivers to duke it out. Now, for each and every one of these cats out on the racetrack, they know that they're going to get a couple stage breaks, so taking it easy, keeping it breezy, just trying to keep yourself on the lead lap and keeping yourself in the action here this evening is got to be the main goal, because we've seen races like here at Martinsville go completely crazy with yellow flags. We've seen a lot of yellow flags here, so it'll be very, very interesting to see, how this one's going to play out for all these drivers. As Humphrey in the chat says back-to-back pulls for the number 48. Yes, sir. It is back-to-back pulls for the 48 rider, Mr. Grant Humphrey. Humphrey will start in the pole position in the Must-Love Poodles number 48 ride to his outside of the Chenko Custom Diecast 00. It's Colton Manage. Starting in position number 3 and then number 2, that is Mr. Corey Crowell. To his outside in the 7 ride, that is Devin Black. And then we see the Rowdy Energy number 6, Johnny Barker, starting there in that 5th position. To his outside in the Poor Boy Motorsports number 81, that is Mr. Anthony Garland. Starting back in position number 7 on the racetrack in the Ride the Dente, the Chili's ride, it's Dom Slavo. Slavo will start in position number 7 with the Must-Love Poodles number 3 rider Chris Muse there to his outside, rounding out our top 8. Starting on the inside of row number 5, it's Mike Killingbeck, in rounding out our top 10. It is the 10 of Michael Wolf, and then we see the 12 of Josh Bromfield, the 88 of Brian Heeden, Brandon Puffenbarger, Rob Tuiscu, Mark Belair, Joshua Benton, Evan Fuqua, CJ Jeffries, Nicholas Barton, and Lance Brantley are rounding out our top 20. Wayne Garland, Edward Belair, James Garland, Gary Wright, bringing up the rear of the field here. 24 cars, 165 laps of racing action as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. And as quickly as we were green flag here and seeing our first lap getting clicked off the board, we see our first caution flag of the day. So our first yellow flag will be displayed, and it looks like it is Black's paint graphic number 7 ride of Devin Black, who's going to go for a bit of a spin here. Pretty solid front end damage on the 7 ride. Let's take a look back and see what happens as he was running in the 3rd position. Down the back straightaway into corner number 2. Shoots to the inside of the 0-0. Unfortunately, gets in a little too low right here. And you can see that mistake right there. Gets in too low. Trying to shoot to the inside of Mr. Colton Manage, and unfortunately see him kind of lock the tires up, go for a bit of a slide, ends up into that berm, and unfortunately jumping over that concrete barrier there, that inside curb, kind of just knocks him loose. Around he goes, and as he gets turned around, pointing the wrong direction here, oncoming traffic coming right at him. Everyone's trying to split through here, trying to keep themselves out of the carnage, and I believe sooner or later we're going to see, there we go. Okay, so we see the 69 of Joshua Benton, the 11 ride of Mark Belair. A lot of these guys just trying to get in here, trying to get checked up to avoid running into him, and unfortunately for the Mountain Dew Baja ride, gets in there, solid contact with him. We see Tuiscu and the 75, the 22 and Nicholas Barton all getting some pretty good contact out of that one, and that's where you see that front end damage going to the 7 ride out there on the speedway. So our opening lap produces our First caution flag of the day, and now we'll get them all potentially down pit road here. Some driver is going to come down, obviously looking for repairs for the 7. We saw Nicholas Barton also down pit side getting some repairs done to the 22 car. And we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a couple more moments as Grant Humphrey out in front leading the charge. So with Grant Humphrey out in front here, looks like he's pulled down onto the apron here. Not sure what's going on with the 48 rider Grant Humphrey, but he is down on the apron of core number 1 and 2. A lot of dirt down there, a lot of dirty debris. You can see a lot of the rubber buildup kind of already washing down there to that apron, and it looks like he's going to fall to the rear of the field here. So I'm not sure what the call is, but for the Muscle Poodles, Isabel's Impact Chevrolet, he is going to go to the back of the pack. This is not a good break here for Grant Humphrey. He's going to have a lot of traffic to try to work his way through the field here, and that is going to forfeit the race lead over to the 0-0 of Colton Manich. So Manich out in front. He'll get ready for this restart, as I believe we're going single file here for this restart. Single file restart, and for the 0-0 Colton Manich, he says, I like that. That's going to give him a good shot, a good opportunity to try to pull away here as he's got his teammate in the Ohio Traveler number 2 ride right there on his back bumper as the Shenko rides down and out at corner number 4. We'll see the green flag come back out. So there's the green flag again for Colton Manich. Gets a great launch, great jump right there. Opens a couple car lengths between himself and Corey Crowell. Crowell trying to stick right there with them, but all these drivers trying to navigate their way back up towards the front of the field here. Everyone's trying to inch their way up to the front, as you do see Grant Humphrey, unfortunately, back there at the rear of the field in that 24th position, but we do see Devin Black. Devin ended up with a black flag down pit side there throughout that caution flag. Looks like he's going to have to serve a penalty and a pass-through penalty right here, potentially even a hold down pit side for that 7 ride. So we'll have to wait and see. This is probably going to lose him a couple laps out there on the racetrack at the minimum, so he'll have to hope for more yellows, more wave arounds and lucky dogs to try to work him back into the action as Colton Manich out in front, just trying to pull away now from Corey Crowell. Crowell in line, in tow, trying to reel him back in here is Johnny Barker up and into 3rd. Anthony Garland's there in 4th. Dom Slavo's up into that 5th position as Chris Muse, Mike Killingbeck, Michael Wolf, Josh Bromfield, and now the 88 ride of Brian Heaton. Heaton now routing out our top 10 here on the Speedway in that Smoky Ridge Racing number 88 machine. Brandon Buffenbarger are just on the outside of the top 10 looking in as we do see our second caution flag of the day gonna fly here. Second yellow flag is displayed. You do see the 7 ride still down pit side, still trying to get that car repaired and obviously serving that black flag down pit side, but you see the 75 ride, pretty solid front end damage from the first caution of the day, and now here in caution flag number 2, let's take a look and see kind of how this one gets produced for the 75 ride. Looks like he may just get up into the outside fence here on the exit of corner number 2. Just goes for a slide up into the outside fence, and then looks like, I don't know, just something in that right front broke and gets back up into the wall, locks her down, and as he does, that will bring the yellow flag out. So for Evan Fuqua, bringing in another caution flag here, and that means we're going to have to get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to try to go back after it again here. Now for Grant Humphrey, did not make up very much ground back here at the rear of the field, so we'll have to wait and see kind of what happens and who's going to be able to try to work themselves up here to the front, and if he can try to battle back here this afternoon as Colton Manich, Corey Crowell, Johnny Barker. Doesn't look like anyone's coming down pit road as of yet. I'm assuming we'll see Nicholas Barton down pit side. Here he comes. We do see potentially Evan Fuqua. I imagine he's going to want to try to get some of that right front damage kind of looked at and repaired here. Devin Black, he's back out onto the racetrack. Now the crew has done a pretty good job getting this car slightly back together. It's definitely in a lot better shape where at least the wheels are pointing in the right direction. No more black flag there for him, but unfortunately he does find himself, I do believe now, 4 laps down out on the racetrack, man. That's going to be very, very tough to try to come back from, especially when you got to restart at the rear of the field on every one of these restarts. You're at the back of the pack, and you're kind of at the mercy of, the green flag laps. If we see it go green flag for a while, you could have these drivers quickly our race leader is putting you another lap down out there on the racetrack, so it may just be an ongoing issue here for the 7 ride, trying to, rebound and gain some laps back, try to get himself back into the battle here this evening. He's going to need a bunch of quick caution flags to try to get all 4 laps back and put himself back into the action here this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. As woo, doggy, looks like we're going to go double file here. Double file restart for these drivers. So that means things are about to get a little bit more crazier. Things are going to get a little bit more wild for each and every one of these drivers, knowing now that, hey, it is double file. You got to mind your P's and Q's. You got to try to get down to the inside. You got to work yourself to that inside groove, or else you may get freight trained out there on the speedway in a quick hurry. As here we go. Green flag quickly out and about for the 0-0 of Colton Manage. Everyone's able to make it down and through corner number 1 and 2, but as they head back down the back straightaway, will things stay calm? Will things stay clean and green back here? It is tight racing back throughout the field as everyone's trying to figure out their way into that inside groove, and they just have not been able to quite find it. Oh, big run there for the 69 ride. I thought he was definitely getting to the back end of that 11 of Mark Belair. Luckily enough, avoids contact, does not run through him, and we keep it clean and green. You do see the 48 rider, Grant Humphrey, trying to click through some of the lap traffic here and some of the other slower cars out there on the speedway as he works his way up and into the 17th position now on the speedway. But you take a look here, things stacking up. Oh, hang on to it. The 11 ride is around. Mark Belair goes for a slide. He's down on the pit road entry, and there's the caution flag as Wayne Garland going to go around as well. So did not take long for our third caution flag, as it looks like the 69 and the 84 going to come together right here on corner exit. So starts with kind of the 11 and the 84 ride. So looks like Wayne's going to get underneath the 11, gets into that left rear quarter panel, knocks him loose. Things stack up here. 84 trying to get going. 69's to his outside. I don't think Wayne realized that, and they just closed the gap up here in a quick hurry. And unfortunately, that's just kind of Martinsville right there for you. As one driver kind of coming up towards that exit and towards the outside fence. The 69 getting a good run there, using the outside groove, and unfortunately stays in the throttle, gets into the 84, kind of hooks him up into the outside fence, and then just gonna finally let him slide sideways. And as he's kind of stopped there on the speedway, that's where we see the yellow flag get displayed again here this afternoon. So another caution flag out there on the racetrack, and another restart on the horizon for all these drivers. And now I believe Devin Black, he'll say thank you very much. He'll get a lucky dog. He'll get at least a lap back here. This is what he needs. He needs a lot more of those single car issues, single car caution flags to try and work himself back on a lead lap. Now he just needs other drivers to not lose a lap out there on the racetrack. Nicholas Barton, he's able to get back out just prior to the pace truck beating him there, basically off of pit road, and luckily enough he is able to keep himself on the lead lap and in the battle here this evening. So we'll keep a close eye on the 22 ride. But out in front, it's Colton Manage. Continues to manage this race lead, who sits out in front trying to keep the Schenko custom diecast 0-0 ride at the front of the field. There's already some pretty crazy issues here for a lot of these drivers. Obviously a few caution flags early on. This is our last caution flag that just got displayed here, as Wayne Garland and the 69 ride all going to get tied together. And unfortunately for Wayne Garland, Mark Belair, this kind of really set them back here. As again, here you go, you're going to get a good look. There's Wayne into the 11, knocks him loose. They all stack up, everyone trying to fight their way through there. And unfortunately, this is how it ends up, with the 84 sideways sliding down the back straightaway into corner number 3 and bringing out our What, our fourth caution flag now already on the dais? Here we go. Back to green flag racing. Green flag back out into the air for the 0-0 of Colton Manage. Manage, great launch, great jump right there. Johnny Barker going to go with him, and now into position number 2 as that will break up the Shenko Custom Diecast team here at the front of the field as Dom Slava will slide back into position number 3. Corey Crowell now into 4th as we see Anthony Garland, Chris Muse, the 10 of Michael Wolf. He's working his way forward here in that Smoky Ridge Racing ride as he's jumped now into that 7th position, able to pick up another spot from the Lawrence Tech number 70 of Mike Killingbeck. Right there behind him is Brian Heaton, and then we do see Grant Humphrey, who went to the back of the pack here, led the first few laps, was our pole sitter here in this feature event, and for the Must Love Poodles, number 48 ride, he has worked his way now back inside the top 10 and looking to continue to try to work his way back up towards the front of the field. So we'll see how much longer it may take him to get there, but it looks like he's got the car to do it as we see the caution flag come back out. So another yellow flag here this evening as take a look back and see what happens. Looks like Joshua Benton and Rob Tuwiscu going to run into some issues here. So Tuwiscu kind of running a little bit more of the outside lane here, which is a very bold choice, especially because he was single file, but just drives it in there deeper, goes to the outside lane. There's not a lot of rubber or traction built up there, and he just kind of loses it coming out of corner number 4. I don't know, it just looks like the rear end kind of steps out on him here as he's trying to upshift and try to carry that speed out of corner number 4, and as he does kind of get sideways, ends up clipping the 69 of Joshua Benton. Benton ends up going around. He takes and kisses that out that start-finish line right there, getting a little piece of the outside fence. Unfortunately, we did see Tuwiscu end up with some pretty solid contact there as well, and damage for him and the number 37 riders. I believe that is James Garland, who's going to get a piece of him here as there he goes around. Boom, there's that 37 rider James Garland getting some pretty good contact there, and look at our flag man go. He's really putting in the work here. My gosh. Brother needs to calm down here. He is just going ham at that yellow flag. He just definitely wants to make sure guys know that it is a caution flag. He does have to relax a little bit, though. You know, he's gonna tear his shoulder out or something here, man. That is going too crazy, too early in this race. We're only, 28 laps in. You don't want to be going too hard at it and put yourself into a bad position, as that was our 4th caution flag. I thought we were already on caution flag number 4, but now we are. So 4 yellow flags, 28 laps of racing action completed, be 29 this time by, and when we go back to green flag racing, should be 30 laps down and 10 laps left to go here in stage number 1, as our stage will end at the completion of lap number 40. Now that's biting potentially some other caution flags and everything else. We'll have to wait and see where that officially comes out, and when we see the stage officially come to an end here, hopefully we can get a good 10-lap run in and try to drive these guys to that green and white checkered flag to finish off our first stage under the green flag conditions. But we could see another yellow or 2 that could potentially make this just more of a longevity kind of stage here, just trying to keep yourself out of trouble, keep yourself in that track position on the restarts, and try to keep yourself into maybe some good points here for the stage number 1. Is here we go. The 0-0 Manage gets a great launch, great jump here. He's able to quickly clear that 6th ride, as unfortunately outside lane just not paying off as of yet for Johnny Barker. As Barker slides back to 3rd, Dom Slava will jump up into position number 2 as we do see the caution flag coming back out. This time it is the Must Love Poodles number 3 ride of Chris Muse. Muse is around here. That's going to bring out the caution flag again. Let's take a look back and see what happens. I believe Corey Crowell may have gotten a piece of this as well. Woo! Oh, no. All right, so for Corey Crowell, we kind of saw this out of the get-go as well. early in this race, and unfortunately he's going to do the same thing, kind of just locks down that left front tire. It kind of drags the car down towards that curbing right there on pit road entry and into corner number 3, and as he gets into that curb, it just kind of jacks up the car. He's got locked down. He knew he was going to hit it, and unfortunately, as he does, it kind of shoots him back up the racetrack, and all of a sudden, nowhere to go here for Chris Muse, man, and this is a big hit for Muse. Big hit here for this number 3 ride as he's just trying to squeeze his way through here, and oh man, not only front end damage but rear end damage as well, as everyone else trying to cut through the carnage there and trying to keep themselves, still in the point in the right direction here. I think if you were even Muse, you also wanted to go backwards right there and right down pit side, as he's going to have to get a lot of work done down pit road, and unfortunately that's not going to put him probably a few laps down out there on the speedway, as Devin Black earns a lap back here again. Another free pass, another lucky dog, and this will put Devin Black now only 1 lap down on the speedway. Now we did see Edward Belair also down pit road back on lap number 27. Same with Wayne Garland. We've seen Brandon Puffenbarger, Nicholas Barton down pit side here. So only about a handful of drivers have made pit stops here, whether it's for damage repair or maybe trying to get some fuel or some different strategy kind of played out here in this one, as we'll get them all ready to rumble, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a couple more moments, as right now it's been a dogfight, man. It has been a dogfight. I think track position may be the key to success this afternoon. Trying to keep yourself out of trouble, trying to keep yourself out of the carnage, and just trying to make sure you can work yourself up and into victory lane here this evening may be the winning strategy. Just trying to keep that track position, staying out on the racetrack, saving as much fuel as possible, and just knowing that all you got to do is what Colt Manich has done since taking over the race lead is just hit these restarts, man, and he's got a teammate there with him in Dom Slavo, so that's going to make things a little bit easier, but you kind of see, oh no, the 0-0 Manich now makes a mistake. Caution flag is back out. That may have saved his bacon. We'll have to wait and see. Caution flag may have been for him, but let's take a look at it. 0-0. This gets loose on corner entry, sends it in there deep. Car gets sideways. He washes up the racetrack after getting a piece of that curb and ends up losing a couple spots. But iRacing getting the caution flag out at that same time may have saved him here this evening. So let's take a look back at it, see what happens, as looks like Puffenbarger may run into some issues here in the 5 ride. We'll take a look at it, see what happens, as, yeah, looks like he's going to get a helping hand here. Joshua Benton gets into him. Unfortunately, turns that 5 ride around. He gets, stopped there on the racetrack, and the caution flag gets displayed. The 69 ride also stopped there with him, but that's just good, hard racing, man. That is Martinsville in a nutshell right there, as that contact jacks up the rear end of the 5 ride, knocks him loose and sideways, and stop there on pit road. They throw the yellow flag, and that will probably bring a close to our first stage of the day. Now, drivers are probably going to stay out here trying to make sure they get to the end of this stage, knowing that they want to make sure they can kind of get as many points as possible, trying to lock in any of the stage points that they can get here this evening. But we only got a couple laps left here in stage number 1. And with Manich out in front, man, he's been looking good, but that mistake right there, that could cost him majorly here late in this race. If he runs into that same problem, if he makes that same mistake again out there on the racetrack, he could find himself going backwards in a quick hurry. He got blessed there with that caution flag. If that yellow would have came out, 4 or 5 seconds later, he probably would have been falling back into about that 3rd or 4th position on the racetrack, and obviously would not be out front, leading the way here, leading the charge still, and getting another restart, another attempt here at the front of the field. Alrighty, as we get them all ready to go back to green flag racing. Now, I believe they're either going to extend this caution flag or they are going to just see the green flag fly and the caution come right back out, or maybe they'll use that last yellow flag as our stage break. As here we go, the 0-0. Colton Manich gets a great launch, great jump right there, trying to keep a little bit of gap, a little distance there between himself and his teammate, the 28 rider Dom Slavo, and that's all it takes. So stage number 1 going to come to a close. They complete lap number 40. And the caution flag will be displayed here. So yellow flag coming back out for Colton Manich. The 28 rider Dom Slavo, the 6 of Johnny Barker, our top 3 there in the first stage of the day. Anthony Garland there in 4th with Mike Killingback rounding out our top 5. Michael Wolf, Brian Heated, Grant Humphrey, Josh Bromfield, and Lance Brantlinger will round out our top 10 here in stage number 1. So for Brantlinger, man, beautiful looking, good wrench, number 29 ride, man. Looking smooth, looking fresh out there on the speedway, but now this is going to be decision time for a lot of these drivers. You come down pit road here, we do see Mark Belair, Rob Tuwiscu, they're heading down pit side as that Vanguard Sim Racing ride looking like he's going to head down pit road and try to get some repairs, maybe try to get some extra fuel or tires into the 8 ride as the RT3 Designs machine going to make his way down into the pit stall. And a huge shout out to RT3 Designs, one of our main sponsors here with the Outcast Racing League. Let's get a quick word in with RT3 Designs here this afternoon.
Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life, from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life. Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life, from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life.
Alrighty, shout out there to RT3 Design LLC, our sponsors here with the Outcast Racing League, as we get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing, ready to duke it out again as stage number 2 is about to get underway. And for Colton Manich, he's going to stay out in front, does not come down pit road. So right now our top 14 yet to pit here this evening, and then it's kind of a little bit more sporadic back there throughout the field for wet and drivers. We're down pit side, and taking a look back here in the 18th position, the 7 ride of Devin Black. Devin back on to the lead lap here. The 7 machine has worked his way forward already, gaining quite a few positions. And for Devin Black, man, what a comeback, what a rebound there it has been for that 7 ride. Now Chris Mew is going to have to hope for the same fate, the same caution flags, and hoping to work himself back on the lead lap here this afternoon, as well as he is 3 laps down out there on the speedway. He's going to need a little bit of that Devin Black luck here to try to work himself into a good position late in this race. But for right now, it's Colton Manich out in front as a good green flag run is upon us here. Be nice to see some really good laps being laid down and seeing these guys really put in the work here, having to muscle these cars around the racetrack, and maybe see a little bit of lap traffic play and wreak havoc here with our race leaders, as we will see stage number 2 come to a close here at the end of lap number 80. So with the completion of lap number 80, stage number 2 will come to a close here this evening. And for Colton Manich, Dom Slavo, for Johnny Barker, our top 3 out there on the speedway, obviously looking for some good stage points, but hoping to see some good green flag laps being laid down where they can kind of get up and battle and duke it out a little bit here for some of these top positions. But they will see another caution flag fly as Evan Fuqua here on lap number 50 going to run into some issues. Let's take a look back here at that 75 ride as the FFA.org. Number 75 ride gonna have a Another issue out here on the speedway. Let's take a look at it. He's already got that right front damage after contact early in this race, and unfortunately here just kind of locks it down, gets into that curbing, slides up the speedway here, trying to avoid running into that outside fence. Does a great job able to check that car up in time. Could have been a whole lot worse for him in a quick hurry, but he's able to kind of keep his toes right there with them and able to get this thing locked down and not into anyone else or into the fence. And it was definitely a lucky call right there, and a great call, because man, that was a close call for the 75. Close call. I do believe that was the 84. Yes, it is, of Wayne Garland just in front of him. Wayne obviously getting a great look at it, but man, oh man, oh man, oh man, you don't want to see this coming at you. As here we go. Here comes that 75, and woo! Almost took him out, almost cleaned him out down there through corner number 1 and 2, and luckily enough, able to just dodge that bullet. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back. The green flag racing as out in front. Man, it's still that 0-0 of Colton Manish. Now, we've seen a lot of races here at Martinsville kind of get played out like this one. We've seen a ton of these races kind of get played out just like this, where obviously things are getting a little crazy. We're seeing a lot of yellow flags. Things are getting a little bit wild for each and every one of these drivers. Well, there is some good news, and that is that the laps get clicked off in a quick hurry, regardless of being under the green flag or the caution flag. But with all these yellow flags, it can get very monotonous. It can get very tiring here, and for these drivers, when you start to kind of get a little tuckered out, you start to lose a little bit of focus out there because of all the yellow flag laps. That's where you can find yourself running into issues or getting ran over out there on the racetrack, and that's where things can get a little crazy up towards the front of the field, and we'll have to keep a close eye on that, because we've seen a lot of our early front runners already kind of fall back deeper in the pack and now trying to navigate their way back up there. So they're going to be pushing hard. The other guys around them are going to be trying to hang on here, and obviously just trying to keep that track position is going to be key here throughout this race. And I think with all the yellow flags, it is definitely not out of the picture that majority of these drivers can probably make it on only one pit stop out there on the speedway here this evening. If you can make it to lap number 80 here, the completion of lap number, our second stage of the day, if you can make it that far without having to make a pit stop, whether during green flag conditions or under the yellow flag, you could probably be able to make it there to the end of this race. And I think that's what a lot of these guys are going to have to look for, because that's going to be probably the key to success, man. Just trying to keep this track position late in this race, not wanting to make a late race pit stop where that could put you a couple laps down on the racetrack, or if you pit during the yellow flag, you still lose all that track position. And unfortunately, that is just a spot you do not want to be in. You want to be here at the front of the field, making sure that you give yourself a golden opportunity here and picking up a Martinsville clock here this evening, as Colton Manish out in front continues to lead the way. His teammate right there in the Ryan the Dente, number 28, Ryan the Chili's machine of Mr. Dom Slavo in position number 2 on the racetrack. Johnny Barker and the Rowdy Energy, number 6, there in that third spot on the speedway. And then we do see Anthony Garland, Brian Heaton rounding out our top 5, as we do see the caution flag come back out, and this time it is again the 7 rider Devin Black. Let's take a look back at it here, see what happens to Devin as he's trying to make up ground here. He is rebounded pretty nicely, and he's running in behind the 48 of Grant Humphrey, so this was just inside our top 10 that he had battled his way back up to. And here at corner number 4, just kind of getting back on the throttle, steps on it, loses that rear end. The car goes around on him there on corner exit, and as he's nose into that infield safer barrier, that brings out another caution flag. And now for our race leaders here, for Colton Manich and Tom Salvo and the rest of the field here, they're about to click off lap number 60 here this evening. So 60 laps down, still a lot of racing left to go. Still a lot of racing, a lot of action here, a lot of carnage and tore up race cars to kind of work our way through here in this feature event. So things could get even more crazy for each and every one of these competitors, as you just never quite know, man. You never know when someone's going to get a good restart, a good launch, maybe take a run to your inside or your outside, trying to steal that one extra position, and that one position could be make or break on your day out at the Speedway. So we'll have to keep a close eye on it and see, who's going to be able to make all the right calls and put themselves into the right place at the right time to try and win today's feature event. But for right now, it's been all Colton managed. But we take a look back there in that 8th, 9th spot on the Speedway, man. This 48 ride of Grant Humphrey. Grant, not too long ago, he was our race leader. He was leading the charge here. He qualified in that pole position, led the first couple laps of this feature event, and then as we got ready for our first restart of the day, he pulled over to the infield of corner number 1 and 2 and allowed everyone to go by him. So I'm not sure if he ended up with a penalty from last week or potentially ended up just making a mistake on the initial start. Nonetheless, for the 48 ride, that kind of set him back enough that he had to go to the rear of the field, and now is trying to navigate his way back up through the chaos, through the carnage, and trying to rejoin the fun here at the front of the pack. But for right now, it's Colton Manich who consumed that race lead from that number 48 ride, and he's hoping to try to keep it for the rest of the evening, as we'll get them all ready to go back to Green Flag Racing door to door. Down into corner number 3, the paint truck will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and nice and easy out of corner number 4. Again for Colton Mish, looking for a big restart, a great launch, and there it is as he's able to clear his Chili's teammate down to the inside. So Colton Manich hangs on to the race lead for the time being, but he's got his teammate right there with him, trying to keep himself up there at the front of the field. Dom doing a great job, sticking right there inside our top 3, top 4, pretty much all evening long, and trying to stay right there with our race leader, knowing that if there is a late race restart, if there is something that kind of comes up, that they can kind of be on the offensive and work together to try to move themselves forward here on the Speedways. We do see the caution flag coming back out, as this time it looks like the 70 ride of Mike Killingback they've got a piece of this one. So Killingback's in the 70 ride, rolling the outside groove here, and unfortunately, I think just kind of running that outside lane, kind of just didn't really have much of anywhere to go here. He comes out of corner number 2. The 88 gets down to his inside. He's going to send it up on the outside groove, and unfortunately, just not a lot of traffic up there, and obviously not a lot of grip, and unfortunately, as he goes around, they end up driving into him, as here comes the 8 ride. A heavy hit there for Rob Tuwisku. Here comes the 69, working to his back bumper in a quick hurry. And unfortunately for Joshua Benton, he's going to get some pretty solid damage into that one as he gets in there. The 16 at Gary Wright gets contact in the front end and the back end. You see the 37 at James Garland. He's right there in it. Look at Corey Crowell down onto the apron over the curbing there through corner number 3 and 4. Luckily not be able to get checked up and avoid getting tied up in that one. But man, some pretty big hits, some pretty good legs out there already here this evening. We still got a lot of racing left to go as we just rolled over 100 laps left in this feature event. So just over 65 laps down. I believe 64 laps complete out there on the racetrack. Maybe 66 laps now complete here for these drivers. Yeah, 66 laps now completed here this evening. So, I mean, that's 99 laps left to go here in this feature event. Be 98 now as our race leaders head back down and across the line. So still a lot of racing, a lot of time to try to work yourself up here towards the front of the field, try to rebound from what has been a fairly chaotic, fairly crazy start to this feature event. But for Colton Manich, and in front, ready to see another green flag, ready to get another good launch here over his teammates or any of these other drivers, and trying to put themselves up and into the winner's circle. So we'll get them all ready to roll here. Will we see the Schenko Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting, number 00, Colton Manich, hang them off here and sweep the stages here at Martinsville. Or do we see that number 77, the Chili's, ride the Dente ride of Colton Manich, be able to jump up, maybe try to steal this top spot away from his teammate and try to steal some big bonus points here going through these regular seasons and into our playoffs as well. So that extra stage point or two could be make or break for Dom out there on the racetrack. So we'll see how aggressive he will be trying to race with his teammate here for our second stage win of the day. Is nice and easy. Down into corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. Back down across the line. They will complete lap number 70. So 70 laps down. 10 laps left to go here in this second stage of the day. So for each and every one of these drivers, man, still a lot of laps, still a lot of time to work your way up there. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be able to come through and put themselves into a good position. So you see Nicholas Barton, Wayne, Edward Belair right there, Wayne Garland as well in that 84 ride. These guys putting together a good show, good race, great battle just outside our top 10. That includes drivers like Rob Tuwisku back there in 8th. You look at Corey Crowell back in that 16th position. James Garland's there in 17th. Mark Belair, Chris Muse, Devin Black there in position number 20th there on the Speedway. So Devin Black in a different paint scheme here this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see how these guys are able to work themselves forward as Gary Wright, Mike Killing back, Evan Fuqua, he's back out there. Unfortunately for Fuqua, he did find himself going down, I believe, 5 laps out on the racetrack, so 5 laps down now for Evan Fuqua. Now that is still very easy to come back from as CJ Jeffries is stuck in his car back down behind pit wall and out of this race as of right now. So heartbreaker there for CJ Jeffries, but honestly just trying to survive here, trying to work his way through this race. Obviously these yellow flags and running into a few issues, not having the speed that I think he was hoping to have out of the number 19 ride. Unfortunately kind of just set him deep in the field and finally just decided to take it down and off the racetrack, as we do see the caution flag come back out, and again it's for the 75 of Evan Fuqua. Fuqua goes around again here, bringing out another caution flag and potentially going to go another lap down out there on the racetrack, as well as the 75 just back on the throttle on corner exit. Lose that rear end. The car washes down the racetrack, makes a little kiss there with that infield safer barrier, but you do see our race leaders go on by him, and unfortunately for Evan, that's going to set him even farther back here this evening, as well as we get them all ready to rumble, ready to go back to green flag racing as our second stage of the day is about to come to a close. Here be another quick caution flag here and a quick restart for these drivers. We saw them have a restart for really not even a lap, really. I mean, it was kind of a quarter of a lap is all it calculated was that restart. If you were able to get a good enough launch and a good enough jump that you were able to maybe pass a couple drivers in that first stage end, then maybe you'd work yourself into a little bit better of a stage position. But I think here with this one, we may be kind of seeing the same thing where it's virtually ending under the yellow, but may still have to kind of go through the process of the yellow flag and the stage break and waiting until the completion of lap number 80 until it is done. So we'll have to wait and see kind of how that plays out here for these guys, because I don't know, man, it's going to be another interesting one. And I think, honestly, for the 0-0, I think this is going to put him again into kind of just the key position out on the racetrack and trying to pick up both stage wins and some good stage points here on the day. Now, we did see a bunch of other drivers kind of work their way back down pit road, including Wayne Garland, Rob Tuwisku, Chris Muse, Edward Belair, James Garland, Mark Belair, Mike Killing back, Nicholas Barton, all coming down pit road there on lap number 77. So if we do see our top 10 and some of these other drivers that pitted back before them, if they come down pit road right here, man, they may be getting leapfrogged. They may be starting deep in the field here after this stage break. So that'll be interesting to see Be very interesting to see how that kind of plays out, because honestly, I think that's going to get really, really wild here. It's going to get really tough for a lot of these drivers trying to keep themselves obviously entertained, having some fun out there on the racetrack, but at the same point in time, you want to put yourself up and into the winner's circle, and having all these yellows just not giving you a whole lot of time to race your way up there and trying to use your car to your advantage. And here we go. It is going to be virtually a start and park here, as there it is. Green flag is out. Caution flag will follow, and things will cycle back out the way they probably should have been, as our second stage of the day will come to a close. And it's Colton Manich, man. All he had to do was hit those restarts, keep himself out in front, not give anything to the drivers back behind him. He almost got burned once there throughout that second stage. Luckily enough, able to hang on to it. But for Colton Manich, get the brooms out. Get them brooms out as the 0-0 of Colton Manich sweeps Stage 1 and Stage number 2 here at Martinsville Speedway. Now, here we go. Drivers that have yet to come down pit road all making their way down pit side, as here comes Manich, Slavo there in that beautiful number 28 ride. Anthony Garland, Johnny Barker, Ryan Heaton, Michael Wolf, Josh Bromfield, Grant Humphrey, Lance Brantlinger. I believe we're going to see Corey Crowell, Brantlinger, Chris Muse, all right there in that kind of mix of being 3 laps down. And now, unfortunately, for a lot of these drivers, I mean, they're going to be back behind the 8 ball here at the start of this second stage of the race, because we saw a lot of drivers that were down pit road prior to this yellow, and now they will be at the front of the field. So consuming the race lead will be the 5 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger. Puffenbarger will be our race leader here on this restart for the ride's MVP Roofing number 5 machine. He'll be looking to keep Devin Black, Gary Wright, Wayne Garland, Rob Tuwiscu, Edward Belair, James Garland, and Mark Belair. I do believe the 70 rider, Mike Killingback, back there at base. So, looks like 9 drivers made that earlier pit stop back on lap number 77. A few of them have, been a little bit longer on the racetrack before coming down pit road, as Brandon Puffenbarger was last down pit side on lap 43. Lap 66 for the 7 rider Devin Black. Lap 66 for Gary Wright as well. And then the rest of our top 9 all down pit side there during that last caution flag on lap 77. And now we do see Colton Manich. He's going to get ready to restart in the 10th position here. So not, for coming down pit road and giving up that race lead, man, this is going to be starting him very, very deep in the field. And this is going to put him into a very difficult position, trying to navigate his way back through some of this traffic, back up through the field here, trying to hunt down his way to the front of the pack. As here we go, back to green flag racing. This is going to be nerve-wracking times here. A lot of, slower cars, a little bit of drivers that have been struggling here. Now up towards the front of the field, and some of the faster cats that have led some laps here. Going to have to try to navigate their way through traffic. And here we go. You see Colton Manich up on the outside. His teammate, Dom Salvo, down to the inside, trying to take that spot away from him. So Salvo now into, position number 10. But look out, there goes Colton Manich. Oh no, our Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner runs into an issue down at the corner number 1, goes for a slide, and unfortunately, this is going to bring the yellow flag back out here at Martinsville International Speedways. Here we go, down into the corner. Looks like he sends it in there, gets a little loose. The rear end kicks out on him, and he starts to go around it. Unfortunately, the only way he can get stopped there is just keep his foot in the brake pedal, come to a rest, and as he does, the caution flag comes out. Now, luckily enough, doesn't look like too much damage there for that 0-0 ride, so that will keep him, fairly good shape here for the closing laps of this feature event. But we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back at it here again, man. Another restart on the horizon for each and every one of these drivers. Didn't see Brandon Puffenbarger come down pit road. Devin Black did not come down pit side as well. So I wonder if maybe these guys are It's feeling like fuel can go even farther than what they were planning. They feel they can go 80-plus laps here to the end of our stage. I just don't know if Puffenbarger's going to be able to carry that far. He was last down pit side on lap number 43. He'd have to virtually run 120-plus laps out there on the racetrack to get to the end of this stage for that number 5 ride, and I just don't think there's that much saving, man. I mean, maybe 80, 90 laps, maybe you can make it that far without having to get fuel, but I think at some point in time, he is going to have to make an additional pit stop out there on the racetrack, and that could put him into a very bad position because a lot of these other drivers biting damage or running into issues throughout the rest of this feature event could have him back there deep in the field just trying to rebound and trying to drive his way forward here on the racetrack. But unfortunately, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Right now, it's played out nicely for him. Puffenbarger continues to lead the way. Devin Black right there in second. Been a very up-and-down day here for that 7 ride. And then we do see Wayne Garland there in third. Currently, our hard charger up 18 positions out there on the speedway. And then we do see Rob Tuiscu, Edward Belair, James Garland, Mark Belair in the 11 of Devin Miner. Right there, ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle. Oh, what name I just said. Mark Belair, Dom Salvo, Anthony Garland. Rounding out the rest of our top 10 here is Johnny Barker, Brian Heaton, Chris Muse, our top 13 as here we go back to Green Flag Racing here at Martinsville Speedway. They're looking to drive it deep down into corner number 1. Luckily enough, so far, everyone has made it through. No! We see the caution flag come back out. The 2 of Corey Crowell goes around, and just like that, cautions continue to breed cautions here, and this time it is the 2 ride of Corey Crowell. Crowell starting fairly deep here in the field and trying to build up his speed, sends it into corner number 1, and it looks like, I don't know if he gets a little helping hand here. It looks like maybe Grant Humphrey on his back bumper, maybe pushing him in there a little too far. Let's take another look at another angle here and see kind of how this played out, how this kind of got rolling out here on the racetrack as the 48 back behind Corey Crowell. There's a big gap between them, and it just looks like he gets loose. He gets loose as a goose, and unfortunately there for Corey Crowell, just kind of lose it all on his own right there. I thought maybe he was getting shoved in there, having to get onto the binders, but yeah, just kind of shoots it in there too far, too hard, and then gets onto the binders. Maybe just have the brake bias a little too turned up, a little too turned here this afternoon. And unfortunately for the Ohio Traveler, number 2 ride, the Mars Racing League machine is going to go around, gets pointed the wrong direction here into corner number 1. And he tries to get it rolling here as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, it was already too late once he came to a rest there on the racing surface that the caution flag would be displayed again, and that will put us right back under the caution flag and right back into another restart here this evening. So another restart on the horizon for these drivers as we'll get them all ready to go to battle, ready to go back to action here and ready to see who can try and work themselves up and into victory lane here this evening. But the laps are getting clicked down in a quick hurry here is down across the line. They will complete lap number 95 here this evening. So 95 laps completed, 75 laps left to go here today, man. Actually, no, it's 70 laps left to go here in this one, right? Yeah, 70 laps left to go here this afternoon, not 75. 70 laps of racing action left for each and every one of these drivers to try and work themselves up and into victory lane as lights are off the official iRacing pace car. It will make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and here we go, getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Brandon Puffenbarger out in front looking for another big restart with Devin Black, Wayne Garland, Rob Tuiscu, and the 25 of Edward Belair rounding out our top 5. And there you go. Great restart right there for the 5 ride. Puffenbarger able to send it in there deep, able to get a great run as we did see one driver run into issues here on the restart. Oh no, it's going to Oh, I thought we were going to see another caution flag right there. Luckily enough, able to get it rolling, keep pointing in the right direction. But it looks like Gary Wright here off the initial restart going to have some issues here at the back of the pack. Just trying to build up that speed and momentum and maybe shifting gears down on the exit of core number 4. Just loops that car around, pointed the wrong direction. And for the time being, no caution flag. But it did not last long as the 70 of Mike Killingbeck now around. So the 70 rider Killingbeck here going to run into his own issues on the racing surface as it looks like the 88. Okay, so things kind of stack up here a little bit. So the 81 ride gets into the 70 of Killingbeck as they're running into the lap traffic of the 16. And I think right there, as Killingbeck gets contact from the 81 of Anthony Garland, that kind of kills his momentum on corner exit. He gets shoved up the racetrack right there and trying to keep himself out of the outside fence. Has to get checked up. The 88 ride gets a good run. Brian Heaton tries to get to his outside, and unfortunately, it looks like for Heaton, as he was kind of getting that car rolling, trying to get it going here in that outside or inside groove, taking this big run, maybe just seeing the opening a little too quick, and unfortunately just gets into a little tire spin right here and loops it around, ends up into that left rear quarter panel of the 70 ride. That's what's going to spin Mike Killingbeck around. He comes to a stop there on the back stretch, and the caution flag will be displayed again out there on the speedway. So another yellow flag, as we did see our race leader, Brandon Puffenbarger. Brandon comes down pit road here on lap number 99. So he heads down pit side. He makes what probably is going to be his final pit stop of the day for that number 5 ride here this afternoon, as the number 7 rider, Devin Black, consumes the race lead. So Devin Black now out in front. He will get ready here for a big restart. And for a driver that got tied up early in this race in that opening lap caution flag, going 4 laps down at one point in time throughout this race, he had gotten lucky dogs and free passes back onto the lead lap, and now here he is out in front leading the charge here. Just 100 laps into this race, 101 laps down, 64 laps left to go. And for Devin Black, he's in the catbird seat. He was last down pit road back on lap number 66. So he's virtually going to have to run a 99 lap run here to the checkered flag. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to stretch the field out that far, but if he can, I mean, just keeping yourself at the front of the field here, keeping that track position may be the winning move, but we'll see how this gets played out as down through the restart zone. Here we go. Green flag back out into the air, and for the 7 rider, Devin Black, good restart, good launch right there. Everyone else trying to make it through here nice and easy. Everyone's trying to keep it breezy here, not wanting to see another issue, another caution flag, and so far everyone's been doing a pretty fantastic job. But we do see one driver earning a black flag. I'm not sure if this is going to be upheld and if this will be a pass-through penalty potentially for the Mountain Dew Baja ride of Mr. Joshua Benton, but he does have a black flag out there on the racetrack that he will need to get cleared here in a quick hurry. As Devin Black, Wayne Garland 1 and 2 here on the speedway. Dom Slavos worked his way back up and into position number 3 here. So for Salvo having himself a pretty solid run, pretty solid drive here. He's been able to work his way back up through some of the traffic and inside the top 3. Obviously, we've seen how things have kind of played out for his teammates as the two of Crowell back in position number 17. His other teammate, the 0-0 of Colton Manich, back in position number 15 here on the racetrack. They're just trying to navigate their way back up through the traffic, and unfortunately, taking a little longer than I think they were expecting. But we do see the caution flag come back out, as this time it is the Shaw Landscaping number 22 of Nicholas Barton. So it looks like Barton, the Spartan, going to run into some problems here. Let's take a look at it, as looks like he may get a little helping hand here from the 88 rider, Brian Heaton. Heaton's kind of gotten in there a little bit sporadic the last couple caution flags, and here it is again. So yeah, just gets in there way too deep and just drives right through the back bumper of the 22 ride now. Yeah, just gets in there far, man. That is a tough hit there for the 22. Tough hit for the 88 ride. Both drivers are trying to get the best run that they can, but unfortunately sometimes get too good of a run and you try to take advantage of it. You just misjudge on how quickly you're catching up to the guys in front of you, and that's how fast it happens, man. Split-second decisions. And unfortunately, it cost Brian Heaton some pretty solid damage. It took the 22 ride out with him there. And unfortunately for both gentlemen, they'll have to try to rebound, try to battle their way back into the action here. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing in just another couple moments. We'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Must Love Poodles.
Who are we? We are Must Love Poodles. Where poodles aren't just dogs, they're family. We are a very small in-home breeder of AKC miniature and small standard poodles, where our motto is quality over quantity. Where every litter is thoughtfully and intentionally bred, and we know that the best puppies come from great parents. And that's why we test every single parent dog for all genetic and orthopedic related issues. But we don't stop there. We also take our dogs to AKC events and make sure they get titles to prove that they have great temperaments. Every puppy is hand-raised in our home and well socialized. We also utilize puppy curriculum and early training methods, which make our puppies a snap to train. They're very eager and human-focused. Every puppy is also temperament tested, which helps us match the puppy to the right home. At Must Love Poodles, we can't promise you the perfect puppy, but we do promise that we will do our very best to prepare your puppy for its future. If you're looking to add a smart, sociable, and highly trainable dog, and you want a breeder that will be there for you before, during, and after, come on over to www.mustlovepoodles.com or follow us on our Facebook page. We'll see you there.
Alrighty, shout out there to Must Love Poodles as here we go back to Green Flag Racing from Martinsville Speedway. As out in front, it's the 7 ride of Devin Black. Black has got the top spot as we do see them start to stack up a little bit back behind him. Look out. Oh, it's a parking lot down in corner number 3. James Garland's around. You see Grant Humphreys in it. The 2 rides around. Solid damage here for the 69 ride. As let's take a look and see what happens. I believe it may have started here with the car that was running in 3rd. Wayne Garland. Him and his Vanguard Racing teammates here battling hard up towards the front of the field. And unfortunately it is, I believe, father and son going to get tied together here. James Garland shoots down to the inside here of Wayne Garland. Anthony right there behind them, watching these two go to battle here at the front of the field inside our top 5. But unfortunately, there we go. We're going to see James get in there deep. 84 Wayne Garland doesn't give him too much room right there. And unfortunately, they just run out of room in a quick hurry. Wayne shoots up the racetrack, backs it into the outside fence. And for James Garland and Anthony Garland, they end up tied together down on the infield of the field. And unfortunately, here comes Mark Belair, Edward Belair. You see the 48 ride of Grant Humphrey. He's able to get checked up here, but you do see, obviously, Benton gets into it. The 70 ride of Killingback has to get checked up. Everyone else is trying to navigate their way through it and around it. Right there, you see Corey Crowell get clipped. He goes around. He goes for a quick loop-de-loop right there, but unfortunately, quite a few tore-up race cars and another caution flag here this evening as Racer Mono says, sadly, I wasn't able to race today, but I never been a fan of Martinsville anyways. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of Martinsville for iRacing. Real life Martinsville, an absolute blast. Absolute blast. Great race. Great action, man. I love to see NASCAR there like they are right now. Obviously, we got that broadcast up. We're watching NASCAR here as well every once in a while when we get a chance to. But, we love the short track racing. We love the short track feel, man. We love the paperclip. Some very, very cool moments there in NASCAR history. So, some very low moments, some very high moments, and especially being a Hendrick Motorsports fan. You know, Martinsville holds a special place in my heart. But yes, here in iRacing, it just never seems to go, you know, a good way at all here. And unfortunately, tonight is another proven fact of that. Is here we go back to green flag racing. Dom Salvo out in front. Salvo's got the top spot here, looking to try to keep these drivers back there at bay. Is the ride the Dente Illy's number 28 ride out in front of the field here. Rob Tuisku's there in second. Chris Muse back in position. Number 3, Johnny Barker's up and into fourth here as Josh Bromfield, Grant Humphrey are top 6. And then you do see Colton Manich, Wayne Garland, Anthony Garland, and Joshua Benton rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Brandon Puffin Parker trying to battle his way back up to the front of the field here in that MVP Roofing number 5. Ryan Michael Wolf, Mark Belair, Lance Brantlinger, Mike Killingback rounding out our top 15. Edward Belair, Gary Wright, and then you do see Brian Heaton and that 7 of Devin Black. They're battling door to door, and it looks like for Devin, he will jump up into that 18th position, but not done yet as he'll shoot down to the inside of Gary Wright, looking for 17th out there on the racetrack. Nicholas Barton rounding out our top 20 is Corey Crowell, James Garland, Evan Fuqua, and CJ Jeffries bringing up the rear of the field here this evening. But out in front and just laying down the quickest lap of this feature event is the 28 ride of Dom Salvo. Salvo out in front. He has been looking sharp here this evening, and now that he's got the top spot, now that he's kind of rolling out in front of the field here and feeling pretty good about what he's doing out there on the racetrack, as we do see one driver slow down on the infield. That will bring out the caution flag here, as it looks like James Garland turned around. Caution flag back out on the racetrack here. Let's take a look back and see what happens. Already at the back of the pack here for the 37 ride, and on corner exit, looks like he's going to lose the handle of the 37 ride. He's going to get down into that infield fence, man. Pretty solid damage there for him. And then, obviously, here's our race leaders quickly catching up to him. Not able to get that thing turned around quick enough and rolling it on the racetrack, and that will put us right back under the caution flag as James Garland going to run into some issues here himself. And, yeah, this is just kind of the regular Martinsville kind of feel here. I mean, we've done this enough that, yeah, it is definitely a bad time, as Razor says. I'm the 71, by the way, Jameson Heath. Okay, Mr. Heath, how are you, brother? Heath, they're coming in, showing the love, and yeah, I mean, this is Martinsville, man. This is Martinsville. We've been here before. We've done this before numerous times. Whenever I see it on any of the schedules for pretty much any one of my leagues, man, I kind of despise it, because I kind of know that it's going to play out like this. A lot of yellow flags, just nonstop kind of issues out there on the racetrack, and just makes the day that much longer. I mean, this race probably would have been over if we would have had, 50% less caution flags here in this feature event. We'd probably already be done here. This race would already be over. Obviously, they kind of planned for these amount of yellow flags. I mean, 165 laps. You'd hope to get at least half of that as green flag laps, but I think we're definitely well over more yellow flag laps than green flag laps here this afternoon, with 18 cautions already being displayed on the docket for these drivers. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel we'll hit 20, maybe 25 if we go to a couple NASCAR overtimes, but that is about as far as we're going to go. I mean, we've had races here in the past with the NASCAR Truck Series and Xfinity and ARCA and everything else. I think the most we've seen is like 32 or 33 yellow flags or something like that. We had a 212 lap race, ended up being 212 lap race. I think it was supposed to be 200 or something, and then we ended up going to double or triple overtime, and yeah, I think we ran 160 laps or 170 laps under the caution flag throughout that race. It was something crazy, man. There was not a lot of green flag laps being laid down out there in that race, and man,
man, it definitely makes things very, very hard for us up in the booth. But nonetheless, a lot of fun, a lot of carnage, and still some great racing and some great strategy to be played out to see who can find themselves up and into victory lane. As you take a look here, Dom out in front has got that top spot, but we do see the caution flag coming back out for, I do believe, the 19th time. So another caution flag here this evening. Now this one, I'm not 100% sure what may have happened. Let's go back deeper in the field here. See if we see anyone kind of turned around. We see a little bit of smoke right there. Maybe someone up here a little farther forward. Devin Black maybe running into more issues. Let's play it back here a little bit and see, as things were definitely getting stacked up. But I think it was in front of him. Was it Colt Manage? Okay, here we go. We see Manage very sideways down into corner number 2 right here. There it is. So he's sliding sideways and virtually almost coming to a stop right there, and I just think iRacing through the caution flag very, very quick there in that one. Everyone else was able to keep themselves pointed in the right direction, but seeing that car sideways and potentially about to go around, they throw that caution flag rather quickly, and that puts us right back under another yellow flag here this evening. So we will get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing for Dom. He did not want to see that one, as that is going to unfortunately have all these drivers right back to his rear bumper again out there on the speedway. For Rob Tuwiscu, that kind of breathes new life into his battle here, as he'll get another chance, another opportunity to try to jump up here and battle for the race lead late in this race. Chris Muse there in third with Johnny Barker rounding out our top 4. Grant Humphrey, our pole sitter and early race leader, now in position number 5 here on the speedway. So he has battled his way back up here inside the top 5. We'll see if he's got something for these guys at the front of the pack, see if he can try to work his way to the point here today, as Josh Bromfield, Anthony Garland, Wayne Garland are top 8. Then we see Joshua Benton and Michael Wolf rounding up the top 10 here on the speedway. Now we did see won't manage to unfortunately have to go to the rear of the field after that contact. We did see a couple other drivers make their way back down pit road, including Corey Crowell and Edward Belair, Mark Belair back down pit side. We just saw Brandon Puffenbarger back down pit road there on lap 128 as well. So more drivers making these, yellow flag pit stops, giving up that track position late in this race. Hoping that'll play out into their favor, as here we go back to green flag racing as Dom Slavo gets a great restart, great launch, quickly pulls 4 or 5 car lengths in front of Rob Tuwiscu. Tuwiscu in tow, trying to reel him back in. Has got a lot of ground to make up though. Quickly here off this restart as Chris Muse rolls there in third. Johnny Parker in position number 4. Grant Humphrey there rounding out our top 5 as everyone beating and banging, battling, trying to race their way to the front of the field, as we'll jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, caution flag going to come back out here. Let's take a look at it as the 22 ride of Nicholas Barton going to run into issues here. I believe this may be more of a single car spin as he rolls out at corner number 4. Take a look here at it. Okay, no. Okay, here comes the 25 ride of Edward Belair. Sends it in there way too deep. Drives it deep down low underneath the 22 ride of Nicholas Barton. Kind of just drives right on through him right there through that left rear quarter panel. That's just going to knock him loose, turn him around, stop there on the racing surface. That will bring the caution flag back out. So another quick caution flag and another restart here on the horizon for each and every one of these drivers as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just another couple moments.
Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dust to
Alrighty, another caution flag out there on the speedway as this time we saw a lot of craziness down and out of corner number 4 here on the racetrack as it's going to start here at Joshua Benton. So I'm not sure Benton's going to get a helping hand here. Maybe a little love nudge from the 10 ride as here we go. There is the contact. 10 ride gets into the 69 machine. The Mountain Dew ride sideways down through corner number 3 and 4. Devin Black going to get into him as well to help him out. Devin down into the infield fence here. He's into the infield wall. And then here comes Heaton in there. And the 5 of Puffenbarger going to slide right into that 69 ride. Corey Crowell, big contact there for Corey. Anthony Garland trying to get checked up. Mark Belair's in there. The 2 ride, the 37 of James Garland gets a big piece of it. Edward Belair, he's going to end up getting a lot of damage here as well as see James kind of driving right on through. Anthony Garland there, kind of pushing him up and out of the way. Nicholas Barton getting stopped on the racetrack just in time to avoid any major contact there for himself. But a bit of a parking lot there at a corner number 4, bringing out the caution flag again here this evening at the beautiful Martinsville Speedway as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to try to go back to green flag racing here as the laps continue to get clicked down and we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag here this evening with only about 22 laps left to go here. Time is running out for these drivers. If they want a chance, an opportunity to try to find victory lane here this evening, they're going to have to step up their speed here, trying to find that extra gear, that extra groove, and trying to put themselves up and into victory lane as we'll get ready to stack them up, rack them up, ready to go back to green flag racing. That will bring a close to our Peacemaker Gaming crank it up here this evening as Dom Salvo looking to try to keep these guys back there at bay, though. Trying to keep these guys, you know, off his back bumper. We're going to be looking for another huge restart, trying to keep Chris Muse and Tuwisku, that Rowdy Energy number 6 ride of Johnny Barker, in that 48 of Grant Humphrey off his back bumper as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back at it here in this one, man. Who's it going to be? Who's going to find the run? I mean, double file restarts. You got to imagine, man, maybe Muse has found a little something. Can he work a little bit of magic here on this restart to try to stay with that 28? Maybe put the pressure here on Salvo, trying to steal this top spot away from that 28 ride. As here we go, down out of corner number 4. He gets the launch. He was looking for the drive that he needed down into corner number 1, but so does the 3 ride, but he gets onto the binders. Look out, there goes Muse. Parking lot again down here at a corner number 1 and 2. That's Martinsville for you right there in a nutshell, as Chris Muse, our second place driver, trying to get everything he can late in this race. And unfortunately, sometimes you just take it a little too far, push it a little too hard, and you find yourself in a very bad position in a quick hurry right here. I think he realizes that I am coming in with a ton of speed here, a ton of momentum, trying to stick with that 28 ride. And as he gets onto the binders, he's reeling into the back bumper of the 28. Doesn't want to drive through him, has to kind of lock it down a little bit. And as he does get into a bit of that tire spin, gets sideways, the 8 ride, nowhere to go for Tuwisku as he'll drive right up and around the outside of him there. And then you're going to see, man, big hit right there for the 12 to 29. Brantlinger is going to get a piece of it as well. And unfortunately for Bromfield, he goes around. He's going to end up sliding right down into the lap here of his Poor Boy Motorsports teammate, the number 81 of Anthony Garland. Anthony, nowhere for him to go as he ends up getting a lot of heavy front end damage there on the 81 ride, but a lot of rear end damage to the 12 of Josh Bromfield as well. So that's going to put Bromfield and Chris Muse now back deeper in the field, and probably at a very big disadvantage here late in this race. Obviously for Chris Muse, I mean, he's trying, he wants to still be here at the front of the field. Unfortunately, he's not going to be there, and unfortunately it looks like he may have even lost the lap down pit side here. I believe for Josh Bromfield, he has also went a lap down, so late in this race, Muse and Bromfield will need some late race caution flags to try to give them some lucky dogs to try to get them back on the lead lap here this evening. James Garland still down pit side, so isn't Evan Fuqua. CJ Jeffries down behind pit wall here, bringing up the rear of our 24 car field. But for Dom Salvo out in front, has this top position, hoping to try to keep these guys back there at base. Tuwisku, Grant Humphrey now there in second and third. Johnny Barker's in fourth. Wayne Garland, our top 5 here on the Speedway. Wayne looking for a heck of a run here this evening. So isn't Rob Tuwisku. And if you look back there behind him, man, we see drivers like Lance Brantlinger, who's gotten tied up in a bunch of issues. Mike Killingback, Brian Heaton, who's gotten tied up in a few of these caution flags. He's there in 8th. Colton Manich, who's led a ton of laps and won both our stages here this evening. They're in 9th, and Gary Wright rounding out our top 10 as here we go. Back to green flag racing with only 15 laps left to go. 15 more laps left to duke it out here. And unfortunately, as quickly as we were back to green flag racing, we're right back under the yellow flag as Devin Black going to run into more issues here. Looks like he's going to take this car right down pit side and off the speedway. Let's take a look and see what happens as on the restart, he just loses the rear end. Trying to carry a little bit too much speed, trying to get a big jump here down and out of corner number 2. Seeing this green flag come back out, and as he gets into the throttle, he's in second gear, loops it around, and going the wrong direction, stopped on the speedway. He quickly tows it down pit side. Unfortunately, it was already too late. Caution flag was already out. And then at the same time, right there out of corner number 2, we're going to see the number 84 ride here as well run into some issues As Wayne Garland up inside the top 5. Looks like he's going to get a shot there from the 29 ride of Lance Brantlinger. Brantlinger just going to get underneath of him. Gets into the curb a little bit, then into the 84, back into the 84. That just turns Wayne Garland around, shoves him up the racetrack, back into the outside fence, and unfortunately going to lose a ton of track position there for the 84 ride as well. So another caution flag and another late race restart here about thrown, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back at it here after our 23rd caution flag of the day. So 23 yellows, and we'll get ready to go back to battle here this evening, ready to get back at it here at Martinsville Speedway, man. This has been a very exciting race. Obviously, a lot of carnage, a lot of tore-up race cars, and everyone just trying to play out their strategy, man, whether or not it's fuel, tires, or just trying to make sure you have track position late in this race to put yourself into the winning position. Right now, it seems like that has definitely been the best call for the 28 ride at Dom Salvo. Is Salvo out in front as this top position? He's hoping to hang on to it here. He's going to hit maybe another restart or two, or hopefully just, one more, and then getting a good little 10-lap run to the checkered flag is what he's hoping for here. But if he does have to hit a couple restarts, he just knows he needs to keep that 8 right at Tuwisco and the rest of the field back there at bay to pull himself up and into victory lane, as we'll get ready to go back at it. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today as we quickly go back to green flag racing. The 28 rider, Dom Salvo, gets the launch he was looking for, trying to keep everyone back there at bay, hoping that, he doesn't see anyone work his way to the inside of him, as we do see Johnny Barker looking to try to take that 3rd position away from Grant Humphrey. Grant trying to get the Must Love Poodles number 48 ride up and onto the podium, but the Rowdy Energy number 6 ride going to work the inside groove wash up in front of him. He will steal position number 3 away from Grant Humphrey. Can Grant work his way back to the point here? Can he try to navigate his way back around that number 6 ride late in this race? But out in front, and it's all Dom Salvo. Salvo in the ride, the Dente Chili's machine out in front, hoping to capture the checkered flag, as we do see the caution flag get displayed here once again. Another yellow flag out there on this speedway. That means another late race restart for these drivers. Let's take a look back, see what happens. I believe the 84 rider, Wayne Garland, going to run into some more issues here as down and out at corner number 4. Looks like he's just going to step on it right there. So a tough break there for the 84 ride as the Vanguard Sim Racing RT3 Designs ride of Wayne Garland down and out of 4 right here. And I believe just a corner exit, man, trying to carry a little too much speed, gets a little tire hop going, and unfortunately kind of see that rear end kick out and around on him, and he goes around in a quick loop-de-loop. Now, luckily enough for Josh Bromfield, he's able to avoid him and not drive through him right there, so no major damage to either driver. Unfortunately, though, that will put us right back under the caution flag, and another restart on the horizon. And for all these drivers, they'll get another shot, another opportunity to try to steal this race win away from Dom Salvo. Salvo out in front, trying to keep these guys back there at bay is no easy task, but he's been doing a very good job at it here so far this afternoon, man. A lot of these restarts late in this race, I mean, there's a lot of high intensity, a lot of craziness, and now you do see the 3-rider Chris Muse. He gets the wave around Lucky Dog back on the lead lap, so for Chris Muse, maybe able to snag a couple late race positions, trying to work his way towards the front of the field here in this one, as he's going to run out of time, though, in a quick hurry. But, I mean, we could have potentially 3 NASCAR overtimes, and with more carnage, more mayhem here in front of him, there is still very much a lot of time for him to try to navigate his way back towards the top 10 here this evening. So we'll have to wait and see if he's able to capture still a good finish out of that 3 ride. Is Dom Salvo, though, out in front, ready for another big restart, ready for another big day at the Speedway here in the Outcast Racing League, trying to keep himself at the front of the field, trying to put himself up and into victory lane. But Still got to hit this restart. Got to hope that you can kind of see the white flag fly here, as it is going to be not a NASCAR overtime and not a green-white checkered. I believe this is going to be a 3-lap shootout. As they take the green flag, they will complete lap number 162. So we will have 3 laps of racing action left to go here, binding another late race yellow flag. As here we go. Down through corner number 4. Big launch there for the 28 ride. Unfortunately for Rob Tuwiscu, not the restart he was looking for. And unfortunately kind of held up that outside lane. Grant Humphrey got kind of the worst end of that deal as he fell back a couple spots. But here he comes battling back down to the inside of the 8 ride. Back into that 4th position there for Grant Humphrey. Brian Heaton now working to his inside. Hang on, there goes Lance Brantlinger. Brantlinger around. Goes for a loop-de-loop. Now they're stacking up there as the 69 rider Joshua Benton trying to get stopped there on the racetrack. But Lance Brantlinger able to work his way up and into that 3rd position. And then we're going to see him make that mistake out of corner number 4. Gets onto the throttle a little bit too much, a little bit too trigger happy. Spins those rear tires, loops that car around, washes down into that infield safer barrier. Now he's able to get it rolling there quickly. Unfortunately, though, stopped and pointed in the wrong direction on the racetrack. He ends up with a good amount of damage and another caution flag here. So now we do head to NASCAR overtime. So NASCAR overtime on the horizon for all these drivers. Now we take a look back here as well at this number 69 ride, as the Mountain Dew Baja Chevrolet going to end up running into some issues here of his own as he's trying to work his way around the 29, trying to keep himself out of this caution. He starts to get checked up right here. Looks like he's going to drive into the back end of the 22. Then the 2 Ryan's going to drive into his right rear quarter panel, which is going to spin the 69 rider around. And I do believe it's Wayne Garland who's going to get in and right into the back bumper there of that Schenko Custom Diecast number 2 Ryan. Pretty solid damage there for them as they're just trying to get checked up. But unfortunately, some drivers a little bit too hard on the throttle still and end up getting into little extra carnage here late in this race as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to try this all over again as we head to our first attempt in NASCAR overtime here this evening. So this is the way the rules will work here in overtime. Here in the Outcast Racing League, we will have a 2-lap shootout. Now, it will be a green-white checkered, so taking that green flag, if we see the caution flag fly before the white flag gets displayed, we will stack them up, rack them up, and we will do it all over again. If we make it back to the start-finish line, we do take the white flag, then the next flag will end this race no matter what. So, if you're that number 28 right at Dom Salvo, you're looking for a big run, a big drive, trying to make sure that you hit your marks, make sure that you get the run that you need here on this restart, and hope to see that it stays clean and green for at least 1 lap out there on the racetrack. And there you go. Down and out of corner number 4. Gets the launch he was looking for. Big restart out of the 28 ride as he's trying to leave everyone else back there in the dust, but the caution flag will come right back out. So it did not take long. This will not go to the white flag. We will stack them up. We will do this all over again as the yellow flag will be displayed again. As this time, I believe we're going to see Lance Brantlinger again run into some more issues. I believe Brantlinger, yeah, just again. This is the same caution, is it not? What in the world? Where did this other caution flag? Okay, here we go. This might be it. No, this is still other yellow flag. I don't know why it's showing us this one again. Where's the new yellow, chat? We were back green. Okay, I think we're back here maybe. It just does not show us when we went back to green flag racing, but this is the restart. So here we go. This is what we missed here is the 81. Anthony Garland sends it in there. Looks like he gets a little tire lock up, ends up looping the car around. Everyone else able to get around him here. Lucky enough, we do see a little bit more cautions and a little bit more carnage there. 84 ride of Wayne Garland also goes around as the caution flag does come back out. And another restart on the horizon. Our second attempt at NASCAR overtime here this evening. Here we go. We'll stack them up. We'll get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to try this all over again. Another green-white checkered here this evening as Dom Salvo, man, he's just looking to try to keep these guys back there behind him, try to keep them back there at bay as the pace car trying to catch up to these guys, I believe, right now. We're waiting for the pace car to reel towards them, and I believe this is going to give a bunch of them a black flag. They're going to have to get this restart kind of figured out here. This whole server's kind of messed up right now. This is our top 8 drivers all have black flags. They need to get those clear. I think they're starting to fly. They're starting to get them cleared now, so that'll be a great break for everybody. But pace car is still getting ready to roll off the racetrack, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. Now they need to wait for the pace car to get in front of them right here. They need to wait. They need to wait. Okay, there you go. Pace car is now in front of you. You got to slow that pace down a little bit, boys. All right, so now he'll pull off the racing surface. Now we're ready to go back to green flag racing. The 28 right of Dom Salvo. He's looking for a big restart right here, and he's able to get it. Man, these guys just cannot restart back behind them. They just cannot get the launch and cannot get the jump. I mean, the 28 ride's been firing there kind of middle of quarter number 4 the last few times, and it's worked out perfectly for them, and everyone else has just been kind of caught sleeping, and it's allowed Dom to get these big restarts, big jumps, and here we go, down and out of quarter number 4. He will see the white flag fly. So the white flag is displayed. This will be our final lap here this evening as Dom Salvo, nice and easy, down and out of quarter number 3 and out of corner number 4. He just got to avoid any carnage that may be still on the racing surface. He is able to avoid them for the start-finish line right there, and luckily enough, the 69 ride turned sideways there, was past the start-finish line as it's Dom Salvo who picks up the win and pulls himself up and into the Martinsville Speedway victory lane here this evening, man. Dom able to get it done and picks up the dub here this evening. Grant Humphrey will come home in second, and Rob Tuwiscu in the RT3 Designs ride will round out our top 3, but it's all the Chili's, the ride the Dente 28 of Dom Salvo who gets it done here in this one. We'll see him celebrate here. He's going to get ready to burn down the house this afternoon as he's going to be pretty pumped up, pretty excited about this checkered flag as he's able to pick up the dub here in this one. It's a crazy night, a lot of caution flags, a lot of restarts, a lot of, I'm assuming, what's going to be controversy and everything else, as Must Love Poodle says, my goodness, 125th caution flag. Is that what that just said? 125th caution flag. It's definitely not the 125th, but the 25th. That is for certain. That's definitely around it, and I think we kind of called that one. I feel like we said it was going to probably be about 25 caution flags by the end of this race, finding NASCAR overtimes, and here we are in our second attempt of NASCAR overtime during our 28th caution flag. We see a good restart. These guys are able to capture the checkered flag, and for the 28 ride, he gets to celebrate here at Martinsville Speedway. Wins that grandfather clock, and we'll get to celebrate here this afternoon as we'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for their post-race interviews, man. Post-race interview is going to be exciting to say the least. Going to be interesting to see what these guys got to say about the racing action here this evening and how things played out here at Martinsville International Speedway. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers and obviously for our race winner Dom Salvo as he's able to pick up the dub and capture the win here at Martinsville Speedway this afternoon as we'll pull him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Dom, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Dom, man, a crazy one here this afternoon, brother. We all kind of knew to expect this as Martinsville Speedway tends to bring out the the best of some drivers and the worst of other drivers. And here tonight, we obviously saw a lot of caution flags, a lot of issues out there on the speedway, and trying to dodge a lot of bullets and chaos here this afternoon, and just trying to keep that track position. And that's exactly what you're able to do. Is midway through this race, you find your way back to the front of the field, you jump out in front after a few of those other drivers and make their way back down pit side, and it gives you the race lead. And then from that point on, it was just all about hitting your marks, hitting those restarts, waiting for the caution flag to fly, and doing it all over again. And you're able to do that so many times here late in this race to put yourself up into victory lane. Brother, take us back through and what's going through your mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what to say about this race. I mean, I absolutely hate these kind of races. I I don't know. I'm not happy about it. I mean, I'm happy that I won, but I'd rather go 165 laps, um, green, you know. But other than that, I mean, I knew I had a fast car all day. I didn't run a lap of practice at all. I got in here a little late and ran 2 qualifying laps, and I got P7. And all I need to know is if I get out in front, I'm winning this thing, and that's what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what happened here this evening, and I kind of figured it was going to play out like this. We've seen it time and time again, and Martinsville is probably the worst, one of the worst tracks to come to here in iRacing, because it just produces this kind of carnage with a lot of different driving styles. Some drivers kind of back the corner up, other drivers send it in there deep, and unfortunately a lot of guys just do not realize that and don't have the reaction time to kind of get checked up and avoid driving through one another. Or obviously, with some drivers that just kind of get under the throttle, trying to push too hard and looping their car around out there on the speedway all by their lonesome. And we kind of saw a huge gaggle of that here this evening. Do you think that's kind of what produced a lot of the issues here this afternoon, or was there something else going on out there that we may not have known of?
No, 100%. I think people are being a little impatient here. I think people have to read the car in front of them, watch them for a couple laps to get their braking points down. Like I said, don't push those couple first laps. Read them, and then you go from there. But I don't I don't know. It's weird in racing here without people that don't practice a lot. When I'm bored, I usually just sit here and run 50 laps here. So I mean, I know this like the back of my hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it showed, because you were laying down some great lap times there late in this race, trying to run away from all those drivers on these restarts, and you were able to do it over and over again, and able to work yourself up and into victory lane here this evening. Dom, who'd you like to thank for a great run and great drive here this evening?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody on my team, everybody at ORL, you especially. This is awesome that you guys do this, and I'm happy that it's keeping it going, and happy to be a part of it. Hi, Mom. Love you. Mm, Yeah, that's it.
Dom, great run, great drive, brother. We can't wait to see you back out on the racetrack. I believe not next Sunday. I believe we're off next Sunday for Easter, I do believe, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, and we'll see you hopefully right back up here in Victory Lane.
Yes, sir, buddy. Take it easy.
You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Dom Salvo. Salvo gets it done and pulls himself up and into victory lane, as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the 48 ride of Mr. Grant Humphrey. Hey, Grant, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Grant, man, great run, great drive for you here this afternoon. Obviously, we saw a lot of speed in this 48 ride, being able to qualify in that pole position. And then, early on, I don't know if there was some with a restart or a penalty from last week, or what may have happened. But, after that first caution flag, you go to the rear of the field, and ever since then, you were just trying to, dodge some bullets out there, avoid the carnage and chaos in front of you, and slowly but surely navigate your way back up here towards the front of the field. And you're at the end of the race, you're able to make some big moves and slide your way up and into position number 2 here this evening, man. Take us back through it, and what's going through your mind here after a pretty crazy day at Martinsville.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. The initial start, I ended up jumping the green flag, so I ended up having to go to the back for that, which my bad, but it was it was a crazy race. There was a lot of beating and banging. Just there was carnage everywhere on the track today. So just happy to come out with a second place. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you can kind of survive a race like this, it's kind of like going to Daytona or Talladega. Sometimes it's just all about being in the right place at the right time to avoid the carnage and the mayhem and putting yourself into position to try to come home with a good, solid run. And here you are tonight, able to round out a solid second place finish after what was a very, very crazy day. I mean, 25 caution laps, but there late in this race, you get a couple good restarts, and you get a good couple looks there at Dom Salvo for potentially this race win, man. It just seemed like you guys were not getting the jumps out of core number 4 like that 28 ride was, and he was just able to pull far enough away that you or even the 8 ride or the 6, none of you guys could really hang with him there on those restarts to be able to get a good enough run or good enough launch to be able to try to battle for that race lead late in this one.
yeah, I think what was tough with that corner was going into turn 3. You didn't really have a braking marker, so I mean, you kind of were just judging on where you felt like you needed to brake at, or at least that's how it was for me. So I know I struggled in turn 3 and 4 from that standpoint, locking up the fronts and sliding a little bit. So that was my biggest thing today. I know coming out of 2, you got a little loose. I know I was sideways there at the end of the race coming out of 2, and just keeping the car clean is the biggest thing. And my car was not clean by the end of that, so just happy to come out with it with the second place.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of drivers that can say that their car was clean after this feature event, but nonetheless, man, still a heck of a show, heck of a race for all of us to enjoy here this evening. Grant, who would you like to thank for another great run and great drive out there on the Speedway?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Isabel's Impact, Must Love Poodles, the Bard Distillery, Hell Niagara Enterprises, uh, my family, my amazing girlfriend Lindsay, and then my brother, and then of course you for putting this on, and Anthony for putting on the league.
Absolutely, brother. Grant, great run, great race, man. We will be back in action in 2 weeks' time as we're off next week for Easter. So we'll see you back out there on the Speedway in a couple weeks and hopefully right back up here in the broadcast booth.
Yep, see you in a couple weeks. Hope to see you up here again.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Mr. Grant Humphrey. Great run, great drive there for Mr. Humphrey as we get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, the number 8 ride of Rob Tuisku. Hey, Rob, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Hey, Aaron, how's it going, buddy?
Not too bad, Rob, man. Great run, great race for you here this evening, and you're able to back it up with a very solid podium run here, man. Take us back through and what's going through your mind after a very chaotic day here at Martinsville Speedway.
Man, I'm still kind of on a high right now. I can't even believe I'm up here. As you know, like RT3 Design is my business, and I've been busier than heck this last week, so I didn't get a lick of practice in until about 10 minutes before the race. And to find myself in P3 and taking the first podium for the new team this year, I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to feel good, kind of get the monkey off your guys' back and try to kind of set the stage here and set the tone for you and the team for the rest of the season, man. It's got to feel pretty dang good.
Oh, it's like I said, it's a high, man. Like I don't even know what to say to you right now. I still can't believe that I'm up here. It was a tough track, a tough race. I really didn't find my line in it until maybe 10 laps in. I had a little loop-de-loop. I did, kind of threw me off, but I was just able to hold it together and pull myself up and just kind of tick the cars off one at a time as I moved to the front, and I can't believe it.
Absolutely. Well, brother, you're able to come home here, top 3 run, a heck of a performance after a crazy day of racing action here at Martinsville Speedway. Rob, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
Well, I got to thank my team first and foremost, Mike and Wayne and Jamie. Jamie did my setup for me. Yeah, it turned out great. And them guys, it kept me calm, kept me cheering me on as we went on, and I feel terrible for Wayne. He had some rough luck there, and Jamie as well. But without them guys, geez, dude, I don't know where I'd be right now. And then I got my boys that over here, and made sure I never ran out of beer. So I gotta thank them.
Yeah, absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work. And here tonight, man, you're able to lead the charge there for the Vanguard Sim Racing team and park yourself up here onto the podium. Great run, great drive for yourself here tonight, Rob. Hopefully, after a couple weeks here, as we'll be off next Sunday for Easter weekend, hopefully we'll see you right back out there on the Speedway. You're right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe a couple spots better and into victory lane again for yourself.
That's the goal, brother. That's the goal every time.
Beauty. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there, Rob. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and as I said, hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. Man, appreciate you, dude.
Absolutely, brother. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Rob Tuisku, as Rob comes home in position number 3. Great run, great drive there for the RT3 Designs ride here this afternoon, man. Huge run, huge drive there for him, man. Heck of a performance for each and every single one of these drivers. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us. You're in this one, man. We got another broadcast coming up here in about an hour from now in another NASCAR race later on this afternoon. So make sure you guys tune into those. Make sure you guys have the, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Turn those bell notifications on. That way you guys never miss it when we go green flag racing here on Peacemaker Gaming. But, man, what a run, what a race, what a show here this afternoon for each and every one of these drivers, man. That was a ton of fun. Some great racing action, some absolutely amazing battles each and every single lap out there on the Speedway, man. These guys put together a heck of a show for us, and obviously a lot of carnage, a lot of mayhem. I'm sure there's going to be some hurt feelings, upset feelings here this afternoon, but hopefully everyone had some fun, had a good time, and enjoyed a good Sunday afternoon here again on the simulator, beating and bagging fenders, battling here with all of their Outcast Racing League brothers here this evening. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here, chat. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch you guys back here in the next one as the Outcast Racing League back in action, as I said, 2 weeks from now. As next week we are off on Sunday night, but we will be back here in the booth again later tonight in an hour from now with a little dirt racing here at about 6:45, 6:50 Eastern, and then shortly after that we'll be back live here from Auto Club Speedway, so more NASCAR racing as well. So a lot of great battling, a lot of great fun to be had here today, and we're gonna put together some more great shows here for all the fans in the stands to enjoy, and hopefully we'll see you guys there. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all back here in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Tonight's racing action is brought to you by RT3 Design LLC. When it comes to designing your dream home, precision matters, just like it does on the racetrack. At RT3 Design, we specialize in custom residential design, construction drawings, and bringing your vision to life from concept to blueprint. If you can dream it, we can design it. RT3 Design LLC, built on precision, designed for life. Tonight's racing action.
Radio check, check, 1, 2, radio check. Over still. Run the box to the corner, lane up through the trial zone. Not sure why we did that, I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody get to the bottom. We should just run all out and wait until after the fourth pit.
number 15 at Cameron Combs. Combs are one way. It's Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland and Garland leading the way. Show these drivers how to get it done. As the
Engines roar louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Outcast League, tearing up the blacktop terrain. Rubber burning speed, churning gasoline in their veins. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Peacemaker's lens captures it clean. Broadcast a dream on a digital screen. NASCAR hearts with that outlaw creed. Outcast racing warriors of speed. Start your engines, thunder shakes the pit. Chrome shining bright, every car's legit. Draft moves tighter than a surgeon's hand. Chasing glory down roads cut loose from the land. From dusk to dawn, they circle the fight. Tires scream rebellion under stadium lights. Lap by lap, adrenaline sparks the night. Outcast League ends, never out of sight. Racetrack gladiators, helmets on tight. Every second matters, every turn ignites. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray. Louder than a lion about to feast. Racers in the zone, gripping wheels like a beast. Born for the fuel, engines never betray. At the finish line, see who outruns the fray.